Welcome to Stupid Facts. Host Loyal Ellis. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Stupid Facts. Good day, everybody. Welcome. Sir, I just want to talk about a few things. Right? First, the Floyd Green incident. Former Minister of Agriculture and Fisheries, the young, dynamic Floyd Green, believed Member of Parliament for Southwest St. Elizabeth. Sir, let me say this about Mr. Green. He's a wonderful, decent human being, right? A wonderful, decent human being. Mr. Green resigned last week, recently, over a video circulating with him and Councillor for the Mona Division, Andrew Bellamy, and another guy that works in the Ministry of Agriculture and Fisheries. A video circulating in which Mr. Green was there, along with Mr. Bellamy, popping champagne and celebrating. Not sure if it was a birthday or whatever it was. And since the government is doing, it takes place under the lockdown and I believe no movement activity announced by the government. And so Mr. Green has had no choice but to resign. And the Prime Minister has accepted his resignation. Sir, that is a man taking responsibility for his actions. Right? Mr. Green has taken full responsibility for his actions. He apologized to the Jamaican people, to his colleagues, and to the Prime Minister of Jamaica. I see where the opposition leader and leader of the PNP, Mark Golding, hypocrisy could not have had. Hypocrisy has had the better of him, and so he's calling for more resignations. Mr. Golding is calling for more resignations, right? I cannot remember in the 18 plus 4 years, 22 years under the PNP, in which there were scandals from left, right, and center, sir. Left, right, and center. 40 scandals there were, at my count. And Philip Paulwell, the most scandalous politician in Jamaica, with 9 scandals under his belt. Not once did I hear Mark Golding calling for Philip Paulwell's resignation. Not once. Right? Not once. If anybody remembers him calling for Mr. Paulwell's resignation, then correct me here. I stand to be corrected. Right? Never once. Never once. And so Mr. Goling, the hypocrite, is calling for more resignations. Right? Calling for more resignations. Right? We'll be right back.
Purchase your tracks today.
Welcome back to Stupid Facts. There's a poll that was conducted recently by Nationwide and Blue Dot, in which the JLP is at 65% favorability and the PNP is at 35%. A whopping 30-point lead by the JLP over the PNP. And the PNP is still talking. The PNP is still talking, right? A whopping 30-point lead. The PNP just cannot get any traction, right? It is getting one. It is getting one bad news after another. One bad news after another, right? Have you ever seen the PNP in this condition? Huh? I have never seen the PNP in this condition, right? And if you ask me, Mark Golding, sorry, seems to be worse than Dr. Phillips. I mean, Dr. Phillips is boring, but I think Mark Golding is boring times 2 or 3, right? Prime Minister Andrew Holness is conducting himself admirably, right? He is making the hard decisions, especially regarding the COVID-19 pandemic, right? And Jamaicans, with this poll of 30-point lead, Jamaicans have approved of his leadership, his sterling leadership during this crisis, right? And so, in spite of all the talk and the naysayers about the country is heading in the wrong direction, the JLP is leading the PNP by 30 points. Right? 30 points, my friends. 30 points. Right? And so, I said before, in the next election, the PNP is poised to win only one seat. Jungle. Right? Jungle. Right? He's poised to win only one seat. Jungle. I tell you something. Ah, boy. We'll be right back. Welcome back. Before I conclude, back to the Floyd Green incident. I noticed there's a tendency in Jamaica where I see political scientists springing up out of nowhere, right? Everybody is now a political scientist, right? Scientist. What makes somebody qualified to be a political scientist? Huh? Is it because CVM says so? Or TVJ? Or the Gleaner? Or Nationwide? Degrade political analyst. Not scientist. What makes somebody a political analyst? Right? They're popping up out of nowhere. Right? Springing up from nowhere. So because CVM, TVJ, Nationwide, or the Gleaner says you're a political analyst, you are a political analyst. Degrade political analyst Kenyatta Powell wants the Prime Minister to sack Floyd Green. Floyd Green resigned, but he wants the Prime Minister to take more actions against Floyd Green. Right? The degrade political analyst Kenyatta Powell says Mr. Green resigning is not enough and the Prime Minister must discipline him. Right? Where do we get these political analysts in Jamaica from? Right? Only God alone knows. Right? Right? Only God alone knows. Huh? They're springing up out of nowhere. Right? Everybody's a political analyst. The toilet paper newspaper, The Gleaner, was at it again recently, right? It published a picture with Royal Reid and the Prime Minister, right? Reminding the public that Mr. Reid is still getting a salary from his former employer, the company in which he was working for. Something to that effect, right? Something to that effect. And the Gleaner published a picture, not of Mr. Reid only, but with Mr. Reid and the Prime Minister. Huh? Why would the Gleaner do something like that? Huh? Once upon a time, the Gleaner was relevant, you know. Once upon a time. Right? Not very long. Well, in the 1970s. Huh? So, but nowadays the Gleaner is in the in the behind hole of the People's National Party. Right? It seems the editors at the Gleaner wake up every day thinking how to damage Andrew Holness. Not to bring you the news, but thinking how to damage Andrew Holness. Right? That is what the Gleaner seems to be the editors at the Gleaner seem to be thinking about every day. Right? Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Right? I tell you something. And recently, the toilet paper newspaper, The Gleaner, The Gleaner's headline was nurses, something about nurses were up in arms against the Prime Minister. Right? The reporter asked Mr. Holness, is the government was really prepared for a third COVID-19 wave? A rather curiously stupid question. The Prime Minister responded that the question about planning for the spike and planning for the supply is a very tricky one, because even in countries where they have plants with massive capacities and more resources than us, even those rich countries and rich states have been challenging. Right? There is a third wave of spike happening all over the world. All over the world. It is not unique to Jamaica, my friends. Not. And for the Gleaner to be asking that stupid question, it bogs my mind. Right? My friends, this government of Prime Minister Andrew Holness is doing its best, right? And doing a rather wonderful job, if you ask me. Right? The economy is turning the corner right now. Right? The COVID-19, there's a third wave of spike in Jamaica regarding the COVID-19. We had over 500 positive COVID infection, 500 COVID infections recently, and it is that is troubling. The people of Jamaica need to take this thing seriously, right? And take their vaccine, right? There's a lot of anti-vaxxers in Jamaica and all over the world, right? Acting stupid, telling people not to take the vaccine, right? This is all we have, the vaccine. We should take the vaccine, right? This is the only thing I see standing between you surviving and not, the vaccine, right? So let us support the government of Jamaica under Prime Minister Andrew Holness and adhere to these rules put in place to prevent the spread of COVID-19. Folks, thank you very much. Thanks for hanging in. Thanks for tuning in, and have yourselves a wonderful day. See you next time.